One could feel the tension in the room. What should have been a routine taping of the popular reality show was, in reality, a storm building beneath the surface. Despite the presence of the crew, the bright lighting and rolling cameras, Yandy and Rasheeda felt as if they were the only ones involved in a long brewing dispute, with everything else fading into the background. Yandy had always been a strong woman, but the stress was overwhelming. Even though she had always been at the center of their drama, it had never been this intense or personal. Now that it was all on display, she felt as though everything was falling apart and her composure was being tested. Although Rasheeda had been Yandy's friend and confidant for many years, they had never had an easy relationship with M. Undoubtedly, Rasheeda and M shared a past that had always simmered beneath the surface, but when M started dating Yandy, things began to shift. At first, Rasheeda tried to be supportive, but she soon began to doubt M's dedication and the decisions he was making. Now, knowing that the cameras were recording every second, Rasheeda's words pierced the air with a sharp, cutting edge. Yandy could feel the fire rising in her chest. It wasn't just typical teasing or playful banter, which had been a hallmark of their friendship and was genuine. Over time, Rasheeda's contempt for M's decisions had grown, and she was no longer holding back. Instead, Yandy seemed to be the target of every glance and remark, as though her relationship with M was somehow a personal betrayal. "Will you actually sit here and keep him safe, Yandy?" Despite Yandy's rage, Rasheeda questioned incredulously. "You're still going to act like he's your knight in shining armor after everything he's done?" Yandy tried to hide her emotions, even though she knew it was wrong. It felt like an attack on Rasheeda, as though she were doubting her judgment, her decisions, and everything that had brought her to this point. "Why do you always have something to say about a variety of subjects?" Yandy asked. Rasheeda had never hesitated to criticize M and blame him for their issues. Although Yandy's words were clear, the pain and annoyance she had been suppressing made her voice shake. "Don't sit here and try to act like you know what's best for me. I'm the one who has to deal with his past baggage and mistakes." "Too much? Time had passed since this connection began," Yandy yelled. Rasheeda rolled her eyes and laughed, but Yandy wasn't done. She had reached her breaking point. This was no time to back down, not with her life on the line. "Though you've always held opinions and criticized me and him from a distance, you've never been in our position," she snapped. The two women were at odds, and Yandy responded, her voice getting louder by the second. "You don't know what we've been through or what I've had to forgive, and yet here you are acting like you have all the answers." In an atmosphere full of verbal abuse and unresolved problems, Rasheeda's presence in Yandy's life had stopped a deeper rivalry, a hidden jealousy that had been simmering for years. There were others participating now besides Yandy, who felt her friendship with him was ruined. Every time Rasheeda's remarks felt like a slap in Yandy's face. For a brief moment, Rasheeda's eyes widened in rage when she responded. "You think you're the only one who's had to deal with this mess?" Rasheeda's voice was sharp. "You think I don't know what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who's always making mistakes? He's hurt both of us, and I'm tired of seeing you pretend like he's changed. You're letting him drag you down, Yandy." She wanted to lash out and scream at Rasheeda for all the anguish she had caused, but she refused to give anyone the satisfaction of witnessing her breakdown inside. Since the world was watching and the cameras were rolling, everything seemed to be collapsing. Despite Yandy's best efforts to keep things together, Rasheeda's persistent meddling and the chaos that had always surrounded them made it feel like the dam was about to burst. Today they started arguing, and their voices grew louder with anger. The crew watched the accusations unfold in the background, unsure of how to intervene. They understood they were witnessing a partnership fall apart, a prolonged struggle for respect and dominance, with no clear way to resolve the issue. Yandy took off running, weary and frustrated, as the cameras continued to record the fallout. Rasheeda's rage simmered beneath the surface, but for Yandy, the true battle had just begun. M and Rasheeda weren't the only concerns on her mind. She also had to figure out how to handle her life's mess, and whether she could trust anyone again, even herself. Rumors were circulating that M had grown bored of referring to Yandy as his wife and had given up on her efforts to keep their family together. He had returned to Erica, his genuine love. The situation was becoming ugly, and some were even claiming that they may have secretly married. Yandy's pride was the only thing keeping her in her marriage, and it seemed she had lost all self-control since M moved in with Erica. In addition to accusing M of offending Erica, Yandy told her to break up with her partner, or it would be clear when they met. If you haven't heard this tea yet, sit down and let me explain. M was freed earlier this year after serving time in prison for drug-related offenses. During his incarceration, Yandy managed everything on her own, doing everything she could to maintain the family's unity and strength. After all the sacrifices and hard work, we all believed Yandy would finally be able to enjoy her marriage, including attempting therapy to resolve their differences. But as they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. Rather than giving Yandy credit for holding the family together, M chose to move on to Erica, Yandy's fiercest rival. In case you missed it, if you've been following the relationship, you'll know that Yandy and Erica have been at odds for years because M was unwilling to set boundaries with her. For a long time, many members of Yandy's circle were in denial about her marital status, even though she knew M hadn't been completely honest with her and was still seeing Erica. Her arrogance and vanity made her think she was the only woman in his life. She excelled at making it seem like everything was fine, but we all knew things weren't as they seemed. Erica had been with M before Yandy arrived, and they had a history. She was one of the few individuals M truly loved and needed. A caring, trustworthy friend when things weren't going well. Erica had been so devoted to him that she helped care for his first child while Yandy wasn't around. Even after M married Yandy, he remained in contact with Erica. Now that he was out of jail and had a stable job, it was reported that he moved out of their home and split from Yandy to begin a new relationship with Erica. I don't believe Yandy deserves the abuse she's receiving from M because she held him down, handled all his problems, and became entangled in baby mama drama. He told her without hesitation that he married her out of obligation, not love. He also acknowledged that, had their roles been reversed, he never would have supported her the way she did for him. She tolerated his mother's nastiness while working hard to raise M's children. M felt that something had to be done, so he went to his mother, Judy, who unapologetically claimed that she had been provoked and had to defend her behavior. M was convinced that Judy had gone too far and told her, "I love you, but I can't. Let this continue." He requested Judy leave, emphasizing that respect was non-negotiable. Even though he knew his decision would hurt, he chose to prioritize his family's safety and stability over enabling her behavior. Despite Judy's fury, she thought the relocation would serve as a wake-up call. The family suffered emotionally from the incident, and Judy had to change her approach. While M showed a great deal of shame, he still stood firm in his decision. Yandy talked to her close friends about the argument, expressing her frustration with the ongoing hostility toward Judy. "I've always tried to find solutions, but I can't stand this disrespect in my own home anymore," she said. He told a close friend that, even though he loved his mother, he couldn't let her hurt the person he had chosen to spend his life with. He started questioning whether there was anything more he could have done. Judy, on the other hand, turned to her own support system to vent her irritation, feeling disconnected from her son and believing Yandy was just playing a game. "I raised him. How could he choose her over me?" she sobbed. This situation further complicated the ongoing drama surrounding the Harris family, and it didn't just affect them. Other cast members from Love and Hip Hop also weighed in. Some supported Yandy, while others saw things from Judy's perspective as a mother who felt left out. Throughout the season, viewers were left wondering if Yandy and Judy would reconcile or grow further apart. Some hoped for moments of healing, while others remained skeptical of their future. The drama in this house is far from over, and many believe that the ongoing issues between Yandy and Judy will continue for years as they navigate the challenging terrain of love, dedication, and family obligations. On Love and Hip Hop, New York, MC Harris and Yandy Smith are the perfect example of a solid, harmonious partnership despite obstacles, such as MC's legal issues and a lengthy jail sentence. The couple stayed dedicated to one another as they navigated the murky waters of fame, family, and criticism, receiving praise for their love. However, as is often the case in the entertainment industry, even though appearances may be deceiving, their ostensibly perfect relationship had problems. That seemed to worsen when MC came clean. The first indication that something was wrong came when MC posted mysterious messages on social media, implying that everything was wrong with his marriage. Fans speculated about the meaning behind his posts, but no one could have predicted the storm that would follow. A few days later, MC published a video that stunned everyone. In it, MC claimed that although Yandy and Carlos King, a producer known for his work on reality TV shows, had a close working relationship, their connection went beyond the professional. To support his charges, MC produced copies of texts and emails he claimed were exchanged between Yandy and Carlos, using phrases like, "I can't stop thinking about you," and "our relationship." MC insisted that these letters revealed a level of intimacy that transcended professional boundaries. He also displayed other photos he claimed were taken during private meetings between Yandy and Carlos. However, some contended that the photos could be innocent. MC painted a clear picture of his perception, and Yandy responded to these allegations by saying she was sorry that MC had chosen to air their personal issues in a live stream video and by denying any wrongdoing. She freely acknowledged her close relationship with Carlos, stating that he had been both a friend and a mentor. Despite her strong denials of any romantic involvement, Yandy stated it was unfair and uncomfortable to turn their professional relationship into something it wasn't. "I've always supported MC through everything," Yandy's tone indicated, "so being accused like this feels like a betrayal of the trust we've developed." As the allegations gained traction, Carlos issued a well-written statement to break his silence. He denied having an inappropriate relationship with Yandy. "My relationship with Yandy has always been professional," Carlos said. "These accusations are unfounded and unjustified. I've worked with Yandy for years, and I've always respected her as a professional and a friend. I hope that MC and Yandy can resolve this privately." Carlos also expressed disappointment at being drawn into their marital drama. In addition to the relationship drama, Yandy and MC's children were also under a media frenzy after being featured on Love and Hip Hop several times. The couple received advice to seek help from various friends and relatives. Supporters were split. Some believed MC's claims based on the evidence he presented, while others thought Yandy deserved the benefit of the doubt due to her prior support of him during his legal battle. Even though the specifics of this case were unique, many relationships in the spotlight often face underlying issues. Fame, distance, and public attention can exacerbate pre-existing problems and create new ones. Reality TV has undoubtedly made their current situation more complicated, and social media's impact cannot be ignored. The future of Yandy and MC's relationship remains uncertain. Despite their shared belief that family should come first, they will find it difficult to reconcile now that trust has been eroded. The public nature of their struggles only complicates matters further, and it's expected that many will notice if Yandy moves on. Whether the couple chooses to stay together or part ways, their top priority will likely be ensuring a secure environment for their kids as they deal with the fallout. At first glance, it seemed like a typical family meal, but the evening soon became heated. MC's son broke the stillness, communicating the news with a mixture of rage and frustration. The room fell silent as MC looked away. He was tired and frustrated with everything going on, but he had his own take on what should happen next. "You don't know anything," he finally remarked, though his tone was no longer hostile. It was filled with years of tension.